presentation as well. So this webinar is really practical things that seniors can do, or that you can do if you're working with a senior or with a loved one who may be at risk for social isolation and loneliness. So, of course, with COVID-19 going on right now, this is a huge problem that's happening, not just with seniors. It spans the lifespan. However, seniors are at a higher risk. So older adults have been instructed to limit face-to-face interactions outside of their home to protect themselves from COVID-19. Of course, this is an essential step to reduce community spread and to help to protect our vulnerable populations. The reality is that loneliness and social isolation can be very serious. So as family members and visits to parents and grandparents, the senior population are particularly at risk. So social distancing does not mean social isolation. So now more than ever, people need to find smart ways to stay connected. And we recognize that the senior population is incredibly diverse as a group. So seniors with a large social network, more education and resources are less at risk of social isolation than individuals who have few contacts and who experience cognitive decline, chronic health conditions, and less autonomy. So the remainder of this presentation will focus on strategies that seniors and care providers can utilize to address and help manage isolation and loneliness. So the National Institute of Aging defines loneliness as the sense of suffering from being disconnected from other people, which is different from social isolation, which is simply not being around other people or having close connections. Of course, though, social isolation could, of course, lead to these feelings of loneliness. Social isolation and loneliness have been linked to many physical and mental health problems. So we know that there is a direct correlation between mental wellness and physical wellness. So people who are experiencing significant loneliness can also be experiencing anxiety, depression, heart disease, diabetes, sleep issues, and premature mortality. Whereas the benefits of social connection could include disease prevention, fewer physical health problems, increased longevity, improved cognitive function, better self-esteem, a sense of belonging, maintained purpose of life, and decreased risk of abuse. So a quote that's pretty relatable to our current situation is, "In the middle of difficulty lies opportunity." We are facing adversity that propels us into taking action. And a part of this is learning again what it really means to be social and to find these new methods of social connection. This is really interesting. So with what we're going through right now, an interviewee on an ABC News article said that there may be this intergenerational crossover that is likely to occur between grandparents, parents, and kids, as more and more of the population will start accessing ulterior methods of social connection. And this will have lasting positive impacts on social connectedness across generations. Even just speaking through like my own experience with this, my phone calls with my 95-year-old grandmother have definitely increased in the past few months. So her and I didn't have much of a relationship outside of just seeing each other and when I would go visit, but she does live in long-term care and they've cut off access to lots of family members. So at least once a week, I'm giving her a phone call. And this has really changed the dynamic of my relationship with my grandma. And if anyone else has noticed this in their own life, please feel free to put that in the chat box, because I think it would be really interesting to just see how is this changing what we're going through together. Yeah, pretty neat. So with our current situation being what it is so important to be creative and find ways to foster social connections. So fundamentally, we are social beings, and feeling connected to others brings meaning to our life. So the most widely and effective way to communicate with others is by utilizing technology. Good news, the senior population is more digitally connected more than ever. And this number is forever growing as using technology as a tool for social connection continues to increase. I know right now that there are quite a few programs who are working with seniors to teach them how to use technology and social media to connect with family members. More seniors are going out buying these devices as they understand that this is a very a vital tool for social connection in this age. So that being said, Statistics Canada notes that 92% of Canadians aged 15 to 64 are using the internet and social media sites, whereas this does decrease with each older cohort. So when seniors learn to use technology that allows them to be connected with their friends and family, the positive outcomes are substantial. Testimonials of seniors who have learned how to use this new technology say that once they feel they can navigate these platforms, there's a felt sense of empowerment, independence, and hopefulness. So strategies to stay connected using social media. So some online options for social connection include FaceTime, Zoom, WhatsApp, Twitter, Facebook, Skype, and there's many, many more. Of course, setting up a new account can feel daunting, but once you learn the basics, it's quite simple to start connecting to friends and family. So for the seniors out there, ask family, if you're not on social media already, ask family and friends which social media sites they are using, and if they can be of help by walking you through steps on the phone while you're first learning. Once using these platforms, it can be helpful to virtually sync up and to participate in activities together through video chat, such as eating meals, watching a movie, or letting a grandparent watch grandchildren play. A really cool website to check out is cyberseniors.org. And it provides a lot of like training opportunities for seniors on how to get started to use these platforms. Of course, for those who won't be getting social media, it's still very important to stay connected by using phone calls. So some tips to keep daily phone calls interesting include participating in activities over speakerphone, such as reading together, completing a crossword, having a musical family member put on a performance, singing, have a grandparent tell a bedtime story to children, doing low impact exercises that are within the person's capacity, brainstorm conversation topics, and then randomly pick one for that phone call. Show and tell, so without the show. So pick a favorite possession and speak about its importance to you. Be thorough in explaining exactly what it looks like. So I'm sure some people can relate to this. If you're doing a daily phone call to somebody, the conversation might get dry, right? Especially when we're stuck in our homes, there's not a whole lot going on anyways. Having some like topics to talk about, or having some sort of activity that you can do over the phone, it can really just increase that engagement together and that sense of connection. So phone communication tips for people who are hard of hearing. Ensure that you and the other person are in a quiet location and that there's no background noise. Wear a hearing aid or amplification device if you have this. Ask whoever you are speaking to speak clearly and at a moderate pace. Rephrase what is being said to ensure that you understand what has been told to you. Also, taking initiative, incredibly important. So take that initiative to reach out to family, friends, and neighbors. So whether this is a phone call, letter, email, or connecting through social media, prioritize taking time to reach out often. It is important, or it's easy to get stuck in a pattern of just waiting on other loved ones to make that contact. So the Center for Disease Control and Prevention have recommended creating buddy systems to ensure that vulnerable people are staying connected. So to arrange a buddy system, individuals can be paired and held accountable for each other to have those regular check-ins. So maybe you work with seniors, or maybe you have a senior in your life who you know that would really benefit from those regular check-ins. To create that buddy system, it's really about like being accountable to one another. And so maybe you can set up a routine saying, you know, you'll make that contact on Tuesday, they make the contact on Thursday, or whatever it is. Routine can absolutely help in staying consistent. We're going to be talking about that a little bit later. Self-care. If you're not caring for yourself, then who is? So with the added stressor of COVID-19, now more than ever, we are needing to prioritize self-care. Self-care means doing things that help maintain your physical, mental, and emotional health and well-being. Self-care is intentional and deliberate action, self-initiated, treating yourself as kindly as you treat others, and taking the time to do activities that nurture you. A couple facts about self-care. Older women participate in more self-care activities than younger people, but are less inclined to utilize community resources. Self-care patterns are relatively consistent across the lifespan. For physical, healthier adults, effective self-care can be an important tool for prevention of decline of health and maintenance. And as chronic conditions in some elderly persist, self-care becomes increasingly difficult, so it is a two-edged sword. The importance of self-efficacy in self-care. So self-efficacy refers to the perceived person's belief about their capabilities to exercise control over events that affect their lives. Research finds that those who have a high sense of self-efficacy or a can-do belief leads to a sense of control over your environment. So a sense of personal control and mastery plays an important role in improving well-being and overall functioning, as well as aspects of illness management. So those with low self-efficacy or a low sense of control and poor perceived social support have been found to be less likely engaged in healthy behaviors and report poorer feelings of well-being. And of course, they're at a higher risk of anxiety, depression, and everything that kind of comes along with that anxiety, depression, including the physical health impacts. So prioritizing self-care and being aware of unhealthy coping strategies at a time like this is so important to help manage and cope with distressing feelings, such as stress and anxiety, which are normal reactions to the threat of COVID. Self-care can look differently for everyone. However, can include being mindful of how you are fueling your body, appropriate exercise, which we will be going through a little bit later in the presentation, some low impact exercises that seniors can be trying out. Working towards healthy sleep habits, directing attention towards enjoyable activities, fostering creativity, learning to recognize when your thoughts are negative and spinning, and challenging these unhelpful perspectives. There's a lot of really good tools and strategies that you can use if you're finding that you're really stuck in like those negative thoughts. If this is something that has a big impact on you and you're feeling like it's really challenging to start to control those unhelpful thoughts, by all means, I encourage you reach out to your local Northwest Superior office and get connected to a counselor. Even if it's for 3 sessions, it's really helpful to learn how to use these skills. Taking breaks from news and social media. I think right now, especially when we turn on the news, if I watch the news, I feel stressed afterwards. It's very negative. Of course, these are facts that may be important for us to know, but a tool that I use is really limiting the time that I'm spending watching the news or accessing social media. So no more than an hour a day. Also, maintaining social connections and those daily routines. So in this time of uncertainty, it is helpful to focus on that which you do have control over. Keep in a routine that includes consistent sleep, meal plan, and daily activities. Incorporating social connection through phone, letters, or social media sites can be very beneficial to helping cope with upsetting feelings connected to our current situation. Routine can also help in establishing long-term healthy habits. For example, if you've committed at the start of your week that you will complete a 10-minute meditation at the same time every day, you will be far more likely to stick with this goal than if the goal was vague, such as, I will meditate this week. Again, people, I'm seeing that we have a few more participants that have joined. If you are wanting to make any comments, please use the chat box or the Q&A section. So I'm seeing that nobody has commented at any point yet, so I do hope it's working. Okay. So these self-care activities, engaging in meaningful, productive activities can help boost mood and maintain your sense of purpose. So if you experience boredom or you're not filling your time in your day with an activity that is fulfilling, Take up a hobby, such as maybe growing a herb garden, knitting, sketching, or painting. Add these activities to your routine so you stay committed to them. It's quite common for people to get stuck on focusing on limitations or what they are unable to do that may have arose with COVID-19. So instead, try to reflect on these questions. What is possible during this time? Can this time be used for something that you've always wanted to try but never got around to? Do you have a hobby or interest that you can now invest more time and attention to? What weekly or monthly personal goals could you set during this time, and how do you plan on achieving these goals? Coming up with a goal too, I think it is important to reflect on what are those long-term impacts? If you were to achieve that goal, what are maybe some like positive ripple effects that may occur if you were to achieve that goal? And that just may help with like staying motivated and committed to actually working towards that goal. So spirituality with self-care. Spiritual self-care may be defined as an activity that we engage in to find and nurture a sense of connection to a higher power and deeper meaning for our lives. Spirituality can provide a reassuring belief in a greater force or being, a sense of purpose and meaning, focus on your own or universal wisdom, way to understand suffering, connection with others, and a reminder of the good in the world. So consider some of the science on religion and spirituality. People who meditate have increased activity in a feel-good area of the brain. People with strong religious beliefs recovered faster from heart surgery than people with weaker faith. People who didn't attend religious services died significantly younger than those who attended more than once a week. So why the connection between spirituality and health? It seems that spirituality cuts the stress that is so often associated with disease. If you are drawn to organized religion, you can get a boost from more active involvement. So join and consider volunteering with a religious institution. People who attend a house of worship regularly are happier and healthier, research shows. That's likely because of the social connection involved. It may also be because religious groups support healthy lifestyle choices like reduced smoking and drinking. Of course, right now, I know a lot of churches, they're not doing their face-to-face sermons. Is there another way that you could get involved with an organization? So whether that be reaching out to other members in the church, writing out passages and sending that out, any way to feel as though like you are increasing your involvement. Also, pray your focus on your notion of God. So you can worship from a prayer book at a specific time each day, or you can pray from your own heart when you need some solace. Uttering a prayer of gratitude may be particularly good for your mood. Also, read religious texts. Take time to reflect on what they mean to you. Talk with others who share similar spiritual beliefs and learn from each other. Meditation. So if more traditional prayers and practices are not for you, you might try meditation. Research shows that meditation offers not only calm, but helps with anxiety and depression, cancer, chronic pain, asthma, heart disease, and high blood pressure. So to get started, all you need is a few minutes each day. Later, you might want to work up to 10, 20, or 30 minutes. With meditation, it's a skill. It can be pretty difficult, I find, to do when you've never done it before. So with meditation, it gets easier over time. I really like the ways that somebody explained mindfulness to me once, and it was almost as though if you're trying to train a puppy and you tell that puppy to sit, it runs away. And our brains are kind of the same way. So when we say like, be still to our brain, that may work for a few seconds and then our brains wander. That's okay. That's just being human. But it really is about being able to redirect your attention back to that present moment and stay there as long as you can, focusing on the present. When your brain wanders again, bring it on back. So some types of meditation would include deep breathing. Sit or lie down comfortably, rest your hands on your stomach, slowly count to 4 while inhaling through your nose. Feel your stomach rise. Hold your breath for a second, Slowly count to 4 while you exhale, preferably through pursed lips to control the breath. Your stomach will fall slowly. Repeat a few times. Mindfulness meditation, focus on your breath. Notice anything that passes through your awareness without judgment. If your mind starts to tackle your to-do list, just return to focusing on your breath. Visualization, close your eyes, relax and imagine a peaceful place like a forest. Engage all your senses. Hear the crunching leaves, smell the damp soil, feel the breeze. Repeating a mantra. Sit quietly and pick any meaningful or soothing word, phrase, or sound. You can repeat this mantra aloud or silently. Experts say that repetition creates a physical relaxation response. There is a lot of guided YouTube videos on meditation that I found really, really helpful. So feel free to check those out if you use YouTube. Connecting with your deepest self. With all the time we spend plugged in, tuned in, or online, it's easy to get disconnected from our inner selves. Try to find some time each day to think about who you are and want to be in the world. Figuring out what's really important to you can make daily irritants and stressors feel like less of a burden. Focus on your goals, values, and beliefs. What brings you hope, joy, and comfort? What do you care most about? How can you make a difference in the world? Keep a journal to help express your deepest thoughts and feelings. Read inspiring stories or essays to unearth insights and philosophies that can enrich your life. Be open to new experiences. Nurture your spirit with nature, music, art, or whatever sounds appealing. Look at what's good in yourself and others. So notice the sacred in and around you. Sure, there's plenty of bad stuff, but you'll find greater peace and joy by focusing on the positive. Of course, being able to fuel your body properly with nutritious meals and snacks. So we're going to be talking about physical health now. Seniors who have had to stop group meals due to social distancing are at risk of falling into like that tea and toast routine and just can't be bothered to make and eat a full healthy meal. So of course we know that healthy diet contributes to physical, mental, emotional well-being. Diet is an important foundation of self-care, and prioritizing healthy eating is essential. If you're struggling with diet, it can be very beneficial to set realistic daily goals in this area. For example, I will eat a piece of fruit each morning, or I will make sure that I include a large portion of vegetables at my supper time. Of course, exercise. So with the social distancing measures that are in place and group fitness classes being canceled, as well as possibly being unable to meet with friends, it is important to continue to get moving. So the Center for Disease and Control Prevention recommend at least 30 minutes of exercise 5 times a week. Gentle exercises that are safe to complete while alone and are low risk for strain and injury are important to not only keep someone in physical shape, but mental shape as well. Exercise can combat feelings of sadness or depression and prevent chronic health problems. Knowing that social distancing can lead to feelings of loneliness and depressive symptoms, this is very important to get moving. So if you have access to a computer and can access YouTube, there are many guided exercise videos geared towards seniors and those with mobility issues that are easy to follow along with. We're just going to be going through a few low impact exercises that many seniors are able to perform. So this first one is chair squats. So standing in front of a chair with your feet as far apart as your hips, bend your knees while keeping your shoulders and chest upright, lower your bottom so you sit down, and then push your body back up to return to a standing position. So those of who are able to be standing, I mean, this is a move that we do in our daily lives as is. Sit down and get up, right? But it's more about making that point of really taking that time to, maybe it's only 5 minutes, but you prioritize that 5 minutes to do this type of exercise. Wall push-ups. Stand in front of a sturdy wall up to 2 feet away, but as close as you need to. Place your hands up against the wall directly in front of your shoulders. Keep your body straight and bend your elbows to lean in towards the wall. Stop with your face close to the wall and then straighten your arms to push your body away from the wall. I really like this exercise because the closer you stand to the wall, the less challenging the exercise is. So if you're finding like you really don't have a lot of strength in your arms at this point, this is a very adaptable exercise. So stand closer to the wall and there'll be less resistance. And as you start to build that strength up, you can start to move further and further away from the wall. So you're always pushing yourself. Single foot stand, so an exercise for balance. Stand behind a steady, unmovable chair. This could really be anything, a table, a ledge, whatever. Pick up your left foot and balance on your right foot as long as is comfortable. Place your left foot down and then lift up your right foot and balance on your left foot. So you're aiming to be able to stand on one foot without holding the chair for up to a minute. Of course, with balance, again, balance improves over time. So if you're finding that your balance is pretty shaky, just keep holding on to whatever structure that you have, of course. This is also a really great quad stretch. Tippy toe lifts. Stand behind or beside a chair or counter and place your hands on the surface for support. Push yourself up onto your tippy toes as high as is comfortable and then return back to a flat foot and repeat. This is a really good calf strengthener. Okay, so self-care. Rest and self-care are so important. When you take time to replenish your spirit, it allows you to serve others from the overflow. You cannot serve from an empty vessel. And resilience. So resilience is an ability to recover from or adjust easily to misfortune or change. I think with life, misfortune is inevitable. It's going to happen. Of course, we're all facing COVID right now. And so increasing resiliency is so incredibly important to really overcome the challenges that we're facing. So increasing resiliency can include adopting a perspective of life as a journey of endless growth. Preparing yourself in rational and successful, worthwhile ways for the effects of time. Allowing yourself to adjust to the inevitable changes that occur with aging. Keep focus on what you can do rather than what you can't. Finding these ways to increase positive self-efficacy, which we chatted about previously. Be aware of your thought patterns. Replace negative or unhelpful thinking with positive and realistic thinking. A couple resources. So Talk to Nice. This is free, over the phone, friendly outreach and brief counseling services for older adults and persons with disability. So I really encourage you all to write these down. They are very helpful. A friendly voice. So this is actually a new phone line that's just been established. And I believe it's 24/7. I can't be 100% confident, but I believe it is. Cyberseniors.org. So this is a website that teaches seniors how to use different online programs. For example, how to access medications online, order ebooks, order groceries online, play games online with friends, and how to use social media sites. And then those of you who do have like a smartphone or some sort of device, there's certain apps that are really helpful. So MindShift, CBT. When I was talking a little bit about those really like those worried thoughts that you might get stuck in, this is a really good app to start to change up that thinking a little bit. So we know that our thoughts are so incredibly connected to how we feel. So if we start to change our thoughts, we're going to start to change the way we feel. Headspace. So this is going to help out with those guided meditations I was talking about. Smiling Mind, Mood Path, and Mindful Powers. These are all just mental wellness kind of apps that you can utilize. Okay. I do encourage anyone to use the chat box or reach out if you have any comments or questions. I'm just going to make a note right there, so hopefully this pops up and people can see. I'm just going to be talking a little bit about our Senior Volunteer in Service program. Acronym CIVIS. CIVIS is a friendly visiting volunteer program operated by North of Superior Counseling Programs. Our dedicated team of CIVIS volunteers play an important role in the delivery of North of Superior's community wellness programs. Volunteers provide emotional and practical support to seniors in our communities, which in turn improves quality of life for our clients. Furthermore, our CIVIS volunteers provide regular companionship to seniors who might otherwise suffer from loneliness or social isolation. Friendly visiting can be supported from daily phone calls to seniors, home visits, and/or by providing local transportation for errands, appointments, or attending community events together. North of Superior aims to match seniors with friendly volunteers who have similar interests. Social connection, development of friendships, sharing a conversation is truly a gift for seniors enrolled into this program. So minimum requirements for the friendly volunteers are visit seniors in person every other week for one and a half to 2 hours, and phone on the alternate week. Right now, with COVID going on, we have stopped all face-to-face visits between our seniors and our volunteers, but still very much encouraging those regular phone check-ins. So the benefits of this program for the recipient would be social interaction with a volunteer, including a sense of being connected to community, a companion to share interests, conversation, or hobbies with, a compassionate listener, a helper to assist them with grocery shopping, getting to the clinic, or doing other minor errands within their community, an enjoyable interlude in their day, so a new face, somebody to talk to, a connection with the adult mental health and special project lead, which is myself. For the volunteer, a network of peers for support, a learning opportunity, both through regular training and workshops from the clients themselves, the opportunity to help seniors in the community and an outlet for your caring nature, purposeful activity and a meaningful pastime that combats loneliness among local seniors, the benefit of knowing that you are making a difference in someone's lives and that is incredibly appreciated, and also connecting with the special project lead. If you are interested in becoming a volunteer, or if you know of a senior who would benefit from being involved with this program, please reach out. We are trying to really grow this program and spread it across the North Shore for all the communities that North of Superior serves. I think it is an incredibly needed program. There's a lot of seniors who are socially isolated right now in our communities. And the feedback that we get from our seniors is, you know, this enriches their life in such a huge way. And it is really important. So if you know anyone who is willing to be a volunteer, I please ask you to send along my contact information and get connected with us. Okay, some resources. So I'm not seeing any chat, anybody chatting. Maybe I'm going to, let's see if I can, that's okay. So we did end a little bit earlier than I expected. I'll wait about 5 minutes. If anybody has any comments or questions or anything at all, please just write in the chat box and I'll get to them. If you are wanting a copy of this webinar, it has been recorded, so we can send this out as well. If you don't have any questions or comments, feel free to log off. Have a great day. Thank you.